In the vibrant heart of Johannesburg, South Africa, where towering skyscrapers cast shadows over bustling streets and lively townships, lived a young woman named Thandi. From the outside, her life appeared picture-perfect: a beautiful home, a charming husband, and a facade of happiness. But behind closed doors, Thandi's reality was a stark contrast, marred by the silent torment of domestic violence. Thabo, Thandi's husband, was admired by many, a charismatic man whose smile lit up every room. Yet, behind his public persona, Thabo was a tyrant. His temper was explosive, his violence unrelenting. Thandi lived in a constant state of fear, her once vibrant spirit dulled by the relentless cycle of abuse. One harrowing night, after a particularly vicious assault, Thandi reached her breaking point. She could no longer endure the pain or the lies. As Thabo slept, Thandi made the most critical decision of her life: she would escape. With her heart pounding and tears in her eyes, she packed a small bag, left a note, and slipped away into the night, determined to reclaim her freedom. Thandi's escape was not easy. Alone and vulnerable in the vast city, she had no money, no contacts, and no clear path forward. She wandered the streets of Johannesburg, her trust shattered, her hope hanging by a thread. Despite the odds, Thandi clung to a faint glimmer of resilience, believing that somewhere, somehow, a better life awaited her. Desperate and exhausted, Thandi found refuge at a women's shelter. There, she met other women who had endured similar horrors, and for the first time in a long while, Thandi felt understood. The shelter staff provided her with the support she so desperately needed, offering her a lifeline in the form of vocational training, self-defense classes, and counseling sessions to help heal her emotional scars. As Thandi slowly rebuilt her life, her confidence began to grow. The once frightened woman found her voice and, with it, a fierce determination to confront her past. She meticulously documented Thabo's abuse, gathering the evidence she needed to hold him accountable. Armed with her newfound strength, she filed a restraining order against him. However, Thabo, whose influence ran deep, retaliated by using his connections to intimidate Thandi, warning her to withdraw her accusations or face dire consequences. But Thandi was done being a victim. She reached out to a local journalist, sharing her harrowing story in the hope of shedding light on the pervasive issue of domestic violence. The journalist, moved by Thandi's bravery, took on the case. As the story spread, Thandi became a beacon of hope for countless women still trapped in abusive relationships, her courage inspiring them to seek their own freedom. Realizing that his carefully curated image was crumbling, Thabo resorted to desperate measures. He sent threats to Thandi and her family, hoping to scare her into submission. But Thandi refused to be silenced. She sought protection from the authorities and continued her fight for justice, refusing to let fear control her any longer. The climax of Thandi's journey came in a tense courtroom showdown. Thandi faced Thabo, her abuser, with unwavering resolve. Her testimony was raw, powerful, and heartbreaking. Her voice, once silenced by fear, now echoed through the courtroom, reaching the hearts of everyone present. The jury found Thabo guilty of domestic violence, sentencing him to prison for his crimes. As Thandi walked out of the courthouse, she was no longer just a survivor, she was a warrior, a symbol of resilience, and a champion for those who still suffered in silence. Though her journey was far from over, Thandi vowed to use her story as a beacon for others, proving that even in the darkest moments, hope and courage could break the chains of abuse.